Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. So, we have one more preview here for the second round. It's between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. This should be a fun series. The last time these two teams played was in 2020, where the Dallas Stars won in 7 games. Have a feeling this series could be a little bit different this year, though, with these two best teams in the Central Division facing off in the second round. So we'll start off with the regular season records here. You have the Stars with a 52-21-9 for 113 points. They were second in the NHL, and obviously they just come off of defeating the Knights in 7 games. So again, I thought Vegas put up a good fight, but Dallas was overall the better team. They showed a lot of great offense. Wyatt Johnston looked terrific. Everyone on the team looked awesome. Ottinger had a great 7-game series too. Overall, this team has a lot of offensive firepower. They've gotten stronger on the blue line too. But you could argue, so is Colorado. The Avalanche finished with a 50-25-7 record for 107 points. They are 8th in the NHL currently, and they beat the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games. So, above all, I like Colorado's team too. I did say, though, that I wasn't entirely too confident with the way Colorado, had Alexander Georgiev. They proved me wrong. And one thing we forget is that the defense in Colorado is spectacular. So that's kind of why it plays a factor in why they beat the Jets. But above all, if they're going to beat the Dallas Stars, a highly scoring offensive team, the defense and the goaltending need to be locked down. They need to be. So you look in terms of special teams. Power play percentage for Dallas, 24.2, which is 6th. Colorado, 24.5, which is 5th. So they just barely are. They're right up next to each other in terms of power plays. And both teams did pretty good on the power play during this series. Both teams did very well. So that is something that I expect to transition over into this round. But one team's going to need to be better. That could play a huge part in this series, the power play. What also could play a big role is the penalty kill. The Stars have an 82% penalty kill, which is 8th. The Avalanche have a 79.9, which is 12th. So they're right up against each other there in both columns. They're right up against each other there when you're looking in terms of, overall statistics. So they're right up there in the standings. So it definitely is going to play. It's definitely going to be a close series, 100%. I don't think that this goes, this doesn't end in a 4-game or not a 4-game, a 5-game, or maybe even a 6-game. I think this goes 7. This can 100% go 7. And whoever wins this series could very well win the Stanley Cup this year. There is a highly possibility they could. 100%. So in terms of scores, we'll start off with Dallas because they were the higher finishing seeding team. You got Jason Robertson, 29 goals, 51 assists for 80 points. He had 5 points in the playoffs. Honestly thought Robertson was a very solid player in the playoffs. Didn't have a year that we've seen from him in previous years. We saw Robertson put up top 10 numbers in points in 2022-23. We didn't see that this year. He kind of did take a step back, but I think this is realistically where Robertson's going to be now. Could he reach that 100-point plateau again? Maybe, but honestly, as of right now, I think he's better as an 80-point scorer. Looked pretty solid in the playoffs, though, for that first-round series. Joe Pavelski with 27 goals, 40 assists for 67 points. He had no points in the playoffs. And that's my concern with this team. That's one of my biggest concerns when I look at Joe Pavelski in this overall roster. Because Pavelski and Roope Hintz kind of had numbers in the playoffs. Like they weren't bad, but no points, and then Roope Hintz had 1 goal. So that is a concern that I do have. Some of the guys aren't putting up points. That could be a worry, but hopefully in the second round series, that narrative does change. You got Wyatt Johnston, 32 goals, 33 assists for 65 points. He had 7 points in the playoffs. Again, apologies for all the sudden pauses in this video. I have a cold, and it's so hard to make a video with a cold. Yeah, it's not fun at all. But Johnston's been a force in the playoffs. He has been. You talk about Toronto's guys not showing up when it matters. There's been a lot of comparisons to Mitch Marner and Wyatt Johnston, and for right reason, too, because Johnston looks like that player who in a Game 7 can just step up in the playoffs and play amazing. Like, he has 2 goals in Game 7s so far. He's played 3 in his career. He has 2 goals. So that's impressive for a young player like him. And even, too, in his sophomore season, puts up a 30-goal year. Impressive. And it shows that Dallas has one of the best futures, not only right now, but for the next 5 or 6 or 7 years, or even longer than that. it just shows how bright of a future this team has. Rupe Hintz, as I said earlier, 30 goals, 35 assists for 65 points. He had 1 goal in the playoffs. I think that is a concern. That 1 goal was an empty netter, by the way. So there is some issues of concern there, but overall, I'm not too entirely concerned with that issue. I do think that overall, Hintz is still a solid player. I think definitely he will be better in this second round series. Then he got Matt Duchene. Duchene was one of the best free agent acquisitions of this offseason. 25 goals, 40 assists, 65 points. He had 2 points in the playoffs. I think overall, the scoring's got to be better. I understand that they had a lot of shots. They heavily contested Logan Thompson. They will do the same to Alex Georgiev. They absolutely will. They will do the same to Georgiev without question. I am very confident when I say that. On the Avalanche side, you got Nathan MacKinnon, a lot more top-end talent here. MacKinnon with 51 goals, 89 assists for 140 points. He had 9 points in the playoffs. So the guys that I'm about to mention here were absolutely insane in this first-round series in these 5 games. They put up an absolute number on Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets. There's a video that's up on the channel of the series review. You can go watch that if you want. But they absolutely put a heavy number up on them. But MacKinnon, Hart Trophy nominee, definitely a favorite to win it, is a guy that I'm 100% relying on to do that. I love MacKinnon. He's been great, and I think that that's someone you got to shut down if you're the Dallas Stars. Second in scoring is Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen with 42 goals, 62 assists for 104 points. He had 9 points in the playoffs this year as well. Rantanen, the good second guy to MacKinnon. Obviously, he's been a terrific player for this Colorado Avalanche team. I, without a doubt, think that, he's another guy you got to shut down too. There's a lot of top-end talent here you have to shut down in the Avalanche. That's the biggest thing for Dallas. If you can get even 1 or 2 of these guys contained, I think you win the series. I think you do. You got to contain at least 1 or 2 of them, but if you can't contain, it's going to be difficult for them to win it if it's just high-scoring affairs every single time. So that's the biggest thing Dallas needs to do. You got Cale Makar. Makar, Norris-winning defenseman, one of the best defensemen in the league. 21 goals, 69 assists for 90 points. He had 9 points in the playoffs as well. So that's another guy there that, you got to watch out for. He's making passes on the blue line. He can move the puck too. He's come up in the offensive zone and scored a couple times. So he's the guy you want to watch out for there for Colorado. Or Dallas, sorry. Not Colorado, Dallas. So that's another guy you want to watch out for there too. Am I saying that too much? I don't think so. There's a lot of players on this team, a lot of top-end talent that need to watch out for, and Makar is one of them. He's been an incredible Norris Trophy defenseman. You also got Casey Mittelstadt, deadline acquisition, who had 18 goals, 39 assists for 57 points. He had 6 points in the playoffs. So Mittelstadt was brought in to be that second or third line center. He's been that. He's been awesome. So I've been a big fan of Mittelstadt. Hopefully his success continues on into this round against Dallas. And then Jonathan Drouin is 5th in scoring. 19 goals, 39 assists for 57 points. Actually didn't play in the playoffs. So that's a weird thing in there. I should have put someone else. I do apologize for that. But regardless, I think it is expected that Jonathan Drouin is going to play in the second round. That is the expectation that I've heard. I'm not entirely too sure if that's 100% confirmed, but I think he is going to play in the second round. That's at least what I know. Other guys to watch out for, Colorado's got Valeri Nichushkin. You got a guy who definitely scored a lot in these playoffs. I think he also has 9 points. So a dangerous player to watch out for there too. Artturi Lehkonen. Lehkonen's a guy who has, was acquired in 2022, scored the cup-winning goal, is a player who can score you those clutch goals from time to time. Is that reliable player. And then you got Devon Toews, the defensive partner to Cale Makar. Don't think that he's not great either. He is a really solid, more defensive defender, but he can be great offensively too. So someone to watch out for there as well if you're the Dallas Stars. Guys for Dallas to watch out for, you got Evgeny Dadonov. I like Dadonov a lot. I think he's actually done a really good job in this playoffs. The secondary scoring's up on a lot. Miro Heiskanen, the best defenseman on this team, and Jamie Benn too. Obviously the cap. So in terms of goaltending here, you obviously have Jake Ottinger as the goalie for the Dallas Stars. Ottinger went 35, 14, and 4 in the regular season at a 2.72 and a .905. In the playoffs, he went 4 and 3, a 1.95 and a .925. So Ottinger had a really bad game 1, but was lights out the rest of the series. He played really well. I think he only let in more than 2 goals once after game 1. So He's been a terrific goalie. He's a guy to watch out for. And playoff Ottinger is someone you don't want to mess with for sure. I don't know what I'm saying there. Alex Georgiev on the other end. And I have been very critical of Georgiev. I thought he had a solid series. He had a 38-18-5 record in the regular season, 3.02, .897. In the playoffs, he goes 4-1, had a 3.03 and a .900. I said my criticism about Georgiev in other series before. Not denying that, I have. And I do think that if they're going to win this series, Georgiev has to be better than how he was in round one, even though he was solid after game one. It's just a matter of, it could come down to goaltending. It could. It could come down to Georgiev and Oettinger. Who's the better goalie? I'm taking Oettinger. I got to be honest. I'm taking Oettinger. So, in terms of prediction, who I think is going to win, I have Dallas in 7. I think Dallas is going to edge. I think Dallas is just going to win against Colorado. I feel like the top end talent's there for Colorado. They have the guys, but I feel like goaltending is going to play a big part in it, 100%. So I know I'm kind of talking too fast here a little bit. I understand my voice is starting to cough right now, but regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe down below. I would greatly appreciate it. But regardless, thank you all for watching. I'm sorry that I sound like I'm dying. That's just how it is. But regardless, I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.